Hello, Swatantra TV viewers. I am Mahima, welcoming you to our English bulletin with latest news, updates, and analysis. Taking cognizance of post poll violence in Andhra Pradesh, the Election Commission of India has summoned the state's chief secretary and the DGP on Thursday to personally explain the administration's failure to contain the incidents, sources said. Reminding the state government that the Model Code of Conduct is still in force, the Election Commission also asked the Chief Secretary and the Police Chief to ensure such incidents are not repeated. The Commission has repeatedly emphasized that there is no place for violence in a democracy, and since the announcement of Lok Sabha elections, Chief Election Commissioner Rajiv Kumar has been personally monitoring the election space to ensure peaceful and violence free conduct of polls, officials pointed out. When they appear at the Election Commission headquarters in Delhi on Thursday, the top Andhra Pradesh officials will be asked to personally explain the reasons for the administration's failure to contain the post-poll violence, the sources said. They will also be asked about preemptive steps being taken to avoid any such incidents in the future, the sources said. The leaders of the YSRCP and opposition TDP have levelled allegations against each other for the incident. Andhra Pradesh Chief Electoral Officer Mukesh Kumar Meena on Wednesday said the total voting percentage for the 25 Lok Sabha and 175 Assembly seats during 13th May elections in the state was 81.86%. Out of 4.13 crore electors, he said 3 crores 33 lakhs 40,560 voted for 25 parliamentary seats, while 3 crores 33 lakhs 40,333 people cast their votes for 175 assembly seats. Meena noted that Andhra Pradesh recorded the highest voting percentage in the 4 phases of the polls across the country so far. In 2014, Andhra Pradesh registered a voter turnout of 78.41% and 79.77% in 2019, he said, observing that even United Andhra Pradesh did not record a voting percentage as high as in 2024. Major stage of the election is over with the polling on 13th May, Meena said, addressing a press conference at the Secretariat in Amravati, and added there was a lot of enthusiasm among people to come out and vote. He also said apart from people from the state, those residing outside Andhra Pradesh and those living abroad also came to exercise their franchise. According to the CEO, voters thronged the polling stations early in the morning, numbers reduced in the afternoon before it picked up from 4 p.m., leading to late night voting.
Only EVM poll చూస్తే మనకు పోలింగ్ పర్సంటేజ్ ఈజ్ 80.66 is the exact percentage finalized yesterday night. 80.66% final voting percent EVM polled votes. 2014లో మనకు పర్సంటేజ్ వాజ్ 78.41%. 2019లో 79.77%. సో ఈసారి ఆల్మోస్ట్ 1% ఈవీఎంలోనే ఇంక్రీజ్ అయింది. తర్వాత మేల్ మెంబర్స్ 1,64 lakh, ఫర్దర్ డిజిట్స్ మేము మీకు నోట్లో ఇస్తాము. అండ్ ఫీమేల్ ఓటర్స్ 1,69 lakh. అదర్ కేటగిరీస్లో 1,517. సో దిస్ ఈజ్ ద టోటల్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ ఓటర్స్ యా. నా దాంట్లో కూడా మనం చూస్తే అసెంబ్లీ కాన్స్టిట్యున్సీకి వస్తే దర్శి హైయెస్ట్ పోలింగ్ జరిగింది 90.91%. పార్లమెంటరీ కాన్స్టిట్యుయెంటీలో ఒంగోల్ హైయెస్ట్ ఓటింగ్ జరిగింది 87.06. అసెంబ్లీలో లోయెస్ట్ తిరుపతి 63.32. లాస్ట్ టైం 2019లో తిరుపతిలో 65.9 ఉంది. సో కొద్దిగా అక్కడ తగ్గింది.
YSRCP General Secretary on Wednesday alleged that the Election Commission has adopted egregious partiality towards law and order in Andhra Pradesh. The Election Commission did not react though TDP supporters ran amok and attacked people belonging to the weaker sections in many districts. Speaking to the media in Amravati, Andhra Pradesh capital, Ramakrishna Reddy said that the Election Commission had ordered the transfer of officials, including the police officers, ahead of polling on 13th May. The police remained mute spectators while the people belonging to the weaker sections were attacked. The TDP supporters went on the rampage even during the polling. The YSRCP activists exercised restraint in the face of attacks and provocation by the TDP supporters, Ramakrishna Reddy said. Meanwhile, the YSR Congress Party wrote to the Director General of Police Harish Kumar Gupta highlighting the alarming increase in violent incidents perpetrated by members of the TDP against YSRCP party cadre and leaders since the announcement of elections in Andhra Pradesh on 16 March 2024. Expressing deep concern, the YSR Congress Party has emphasized that the situation has reached critical levels, endangering the safety and well-being of YSRCP members. Shockingly, there have been instances where law enforcement authorities either failed to intervene or, worse, sided with the perpetrators.
చంద్రబాబు నాయుడు ఆయన పార్టీ సెంట్రల్లో అధికారంలో ఉన్న బీజేపీతో పొత్తు పెట్టుకుని కూటమి అన్నప్పటి దగ్గర నుంచి మీరు గమనిస్తే ఓ ప్యాటర్న్ పూర్తిగా అధికారం అంతా వయా ఎన్నికల కమిషన్ తెలుగుదేశం పార్టీ దాంట్లోకి పోయిందా అని అనిపించే రకంగా వరుసగా జరుగుతూ వచ్చిన సంఘటనలు ఏవైనా ఉన్నా అవి అగ్రెసివ్ పోస్చర్ అంటే యాజ్ ఇఫ్ అధికారం అనేదే నడుస్తోంది అక్కడ నుంచి. ఎన్నికల కమిషన్ అధికార దాంట్లో జోక్యం చేసుకోకూడదు, దాంట్లో దుర్వినియోగం అవుతుంటే కట్టడి చేయాలి. తప్పనిసరి అయినప్పుడు సరైన ఎంక్వైరీ చేసి పూర్తిగా ఆధారాలు ఉంటేనే యాక్షన్ తీసుకోవాలి. ఎక్కడన్నా ఒక్క ఇన్సిడెంట్లో మీకు అలాంటిది కనిపించిందా? పోలింగ్ స్టేషన్ల దగ్గర హింసకాండ క్రియేట్ చేసి పోలింగ్ సజావుగా జరగకుండా చూడాలని చూసిన మా వాళ్ళు మాత్రం సంయమనంతో ఉన్నారు. కారణం ఒకటే, జగన్మోహన్ రెడ్డి గారు పేద కుటుంబాలకు కానీ లేదా బడుగు వర్గాలకు సంబంధించి కానీ అండగా నిలబడడం, అందులో ముఖ్యంగా మహిళల పట్ల ఏది చేసినా మహిళలకే చేయడం. సహజంగా శాంతియుత వాతావరణం లేకపోతే ఈ వర్గాలు కానీ రాలేవు అక్కడికి, మహిళలు వచ్చి ఓటింగ్ కూడా చేయలేరు. కాబట్టి మాకు నష్టం కలిగించేది మేము చేయడం అనేది సూసైడ్ ఇలా మాకు తెలుసు. కాబట్టి ప్రాక్టికల్గా కూడా చెయ్యం. కాబట్టి అది జరగలే. మరి ఎవరు చేశారా అంటే సహజంగా పోలింగ్ డిస్టర్బ్ అయితే, ప్రశాంత వాతావరణం ఇదైతే తద్వారా రిగ్గింగ్లకు పాల్పడవచ్చు, లేదా మాకు వచ్చే ఓట్లను అడ్డుకొట్టుకోవచ్చని టీడీపీ చాలా చోట్ల చేసింది. ఆ వార్తలు కూడా మీరందరూ చూశారు.
6 persons were charred to death when a private bus hit a dumper truck near Chilkalurupeta in Palnadu district of Andhra Pradesh, resulting in a fire on Wednesday. The accident occurred around 1 a.m. on Wednesday when the bus veered towards the truck to its extreme right and hit it at Pasumaru, police said. 4 men, including the drivers of the bus and the truck, a woman and a minor girl, died. Among the dead were an 8-year-old girl, her grandmother and grandfather, and another passenger, while 20 injured passengers were admitted to a hospital. According to police, the passengers belonged to Chinnaganjam area and were returning to Hyderabad after casting their votes in the elections in the state. Meanwhile, police registered a case under IPC sections 304A and 337A, the official added. Andhra Pradesh Governor S. Abdul Nazir expressed his condolences over the loss of lives in the accident. Nazir has expressed profound grief and anguish over the road accident that took place near Pasumaru village in Palnadu district, in which 6 people were killed, a press release from the Raj Bhavan said.
గత రాత్రి 12 గంటల 50 నిమిషాలకి ఒక యాక్సిడెంట్ జరిగింది. దీంట్లో టిప్పర్ లారీ ప్యాసింజర్స్ ఎక్కించుకుని తీసుకెళ్తున్న ప్రైవేట్ ట్రావెల్స్ బస్సు ఆపోజిట్ డైరెక్షన్ లో గుద్దుకోవడం జరిగింది. దీంట్లో సడన్ గా మంటలు చెలరేగి బస్సు మరియు టిప్పర్ ఇవి కాలిపోవడం జరిగింది. ఇంతవరకు 5 వ్యక్తులు బస్సులో 5 వ్యక్తులు, టిప్పర్ డ్రైవరు 6 వ్యక్తులు మొత్తంగా చనిపోయారు. బస్సులో ఉన్న ఒకే ఫ్యామిలీకి చెందిన భార్య, భర్త మరియు మనవరాలు, వీళ్ళు 3 ఐడెంటిఫై అయ్యారు. ఇంకా బస్సు డ్రైవరు మరియు ఇంకొక ప్యాసింజరు ఎవరు అన్నది మనకి ఐడెంటిటీ ఇంకా తెలియదు.
Congress leader Priyanka Gandhi Vadra on Wednesday accused the BJP of diverting people's attention and bringing up religion during elections. Gandhi said the government was not accountable to the people in the last 10 years due to this politics of religion. The leaders of BJP have realized that they can come to power after tricking the people in the name of religion, she said addressing a rally in support of her brother and Congress Rai Bareli Lok Sabha seat candidate Rahul Gandhi. The BJP's leaders, right from Narendra Modi to the BJP candidate from Rai Bareli, all think that there is no need to work for the public and divert your attention in the name of religion during elections, she added. BJP's Dinesh Pratap Singh has been fielded against Rahul Gandhi in Rai Bareli. Priyanka Gandhi said there are 2 kinds of politics being done in the country. One is truthful, devoted and willing to work for the voters, while the other is the politics of BJP. They play with your emotions, seek votes in the name of religion and remain in power without caring for voters. She also alleged that the BJP's candidate from Rai Bareli is threatening village heads for votes. Targeting the BJP over the electoral bonds issue, Gandhi said, "They call us corrupt. But the Congress party could not become a rich party in 55 years when it was in power, but the BJP has become the richest party in the world within 10 years."
भाजपा का राज रहा है। इन 10 सालों में सबसे ज्यादा बेरोजगारी आज है। 45 सालों में इतनी बेरोजगारी नहीं रही, इतनी महंगाई नहीं रही जितनी आज है। 1-2 योजनाएं हैं सिर्फ गरीबों के लिए, महिलाओं के लिए, श्रमिकों के लिए, किसानों के लिए 1-2 योजनाएं हैं। पहली योजना इनकी ये है कि आपको 5 किलो राशन देते हैं। इससे आपकी सुविधा होती है। इस राशन के बोरे पे मोदी जी की फोटो चिपकी है कि नहीं? मोदी जी की फोटो चिपकी है। अब मैं आपको बताती हूं कि ये राशन आपको क्यों मिलता है। क्योंकि सोनिया गांधी ने अपने कार्यकाल में, हमारी सरकार जब थी तब हमारी सरकार से ये कानून बनवाया कि गरीब परिवारों को भोजन का अधिकार है।
Calling Narendra Modi the outgoing Prime Minister, Congress General Secretary Jairam Ramesh on Wednesday pointed out that the polling held so far clearly indicates that the BJP has been wiped out from South India and reduced to half in the rest of the country. Addressing a press conference in Ranchi, he alleged that the Prime Minister polarized voters on religious lines and was now lying that he never did Hindu-Muslim politics. Ramesh claimed that Modi ki guarantee has fallen flat and there was no talk about developed India, and the BJP's campaign was now revolving around Hindu-Muslim. He also claimed the India bloc would form the next government at the centre and would ensure a nationwide caste census. He said caste census was necessary to give proper representation to SCs, STs and backward classes. Alleging that the BJP-led government badly misused the Enforcement Directorate, CBI and IT department, Ramesh said that if voted to power, the Congress would ensure that powers given to these agencies are revisited. He also accused the government of weakening laws related to land acquisition so that capitalists could benefit.
मैंने पहले ही जिक्र किया है कि प्रधानमंत्री घबराए हुए हैं, उनकी भाषा में परेशानी दिखाई दे रही है और पहले से वो एक झूठ की महामारी उन्होंने फैलाया है। रोज कुछ ना कुछ नया झूठ जनता के सामने बोलते हैं और आज भी कहा है, कल कहा है, आज सभी अखबारों में छपा है कि मैंने कभी हिंदू मुस्लिम की बात नहीं की, मैंने कभी ध्रुवीकरण की राजनीति नहीं की। इससे और बड़ा झूठ हो ही नहीं सकता, क्योंकि 19 तारीख से जिस तरीके से कांग्रेस घोषणा पत्र पर आरोप लगाया कि यह मुस्लिम लीग का घोषणा पत्र है, बाद में मंगलसूत्र की उन्होंने बात की, बाद में उन्होंने धन वितरण की बात की, जो हमारे न्याय पत्र में शामिल ही नहीं है, और हमेशा ये बोलते रहे इस भाषा में ताकि ध्रुवीकरण को प्रोत्साहन मिले, ध्रुवीकरण को ऑक्सीजन मिले। और आज कह रहे हैं कि मैं इस राजनीति में विश्वास नहीं रखता हूं। ऐसे प्रधानमंत्री पर कोई भी विश्वास नहीं रख सकता।
Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge announced Wednesday that if the India bloc is voted to power, it will double the quantity of free rations provided by the BJP government to the poor. He referred to the Modi government scheme providing 5 kilograms of ration to the poor every month and said that the Congress brought the Food Security Act. If India bloc government is formed, it will give 10 kilograms of ration to the poor, Kharge said, addressing a joint press conference with Samajwadi Party chief Akhilesh Yadav in Lucknow. In a campaign speech recently, Congress leader Priyanka Gandhi Vadra had pitched for more employment opportunities for youngsters, saying the Modi government's scheme to provide free ration to the poor every month was not a solution. BJP leaders, including Prime Minister Narendra Modi, list the government's free ration scheme in every political rally. The party has even mentioned in its manifesto that it will continue the scheme till 2029 after coming to power. Yadav has also promised in several of his rallies that the quality of ration distributed to the poor will be improved if the India bloc comes to power.
बीजेपी के मजबूत लोग हैं, वहां पर हमारे लोगों को नॉमिनेशन डालने से भी रोक रहे हैं। यहां तक कि अभी से उन्होंने शुरू किया, जिस इलेक्शन एजेंट हम बनाते हैं उसको डरा रहे हैं। और बहुत से ताजुब की बात है, हैदराबाद में मैं देखा कि एक महिला बीजेपी की जो कैंडिडेट है वो तो बुर्का उठा उठा के देख रही है, चिट्ठियां कहां से है क्या है। तो ये ऐसी स्थिति में फ्री फेयर इलेक्शन होता है? डरा डरा के आप इलेक्शन करते हो। इसीलिए लेवल प्लेइंग ग्राउंड होना चाहिए, लेकिन फिर भी हम लड़ रहे हैं मजबूती के साथ, एक होके आगे बढ़ रहे हैं। और ये 4 इलेक्शन के नतीजे देखने के बाद हमें ऐसा है, रिपोर्ट्स आए हैं कि गठबंधन आगे है और बीजेपी पीछे।
Congress leader Rahul Gandhi on Wednesday alleged that the BJP wants to destroy the constitution and scrap the reservation provided to T1BILS, Dalits, and backward class. Addressing an election rally in Odisha's Bolangir, Gandhi claimed that if the BJP wins this election, it will privatize the public sector entities and the country will be run by 22 billionaires. Gandhi said that whatever the country's poor, Dalits, T1BILS, minorities, farmers and laborers have received till now, it is due to the constitution. If BJP wins, the reservation will be scrapped, the public sector will be privatized, and the country will be run by 22 billionaires. That's why the people's government should be formed, he added. Gandhi claimed that loans worth 16 lakh rupees crore of 22 billionaires were waived under the BJP-led government, and the amount was equivalent to Manrega wages of 24 years. The Congress leader said that the money collected through GST from the common people of the country was going to only 2-3 persons. Gandhi said that if the Congress is voted to power, it will conduct a caste census to provide proper representation to Dalits, T1BILS, and backward classes. After the census, a revolutionary democracy or people's rule will begin in the country, he said.
तो वो इस संविधान को, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को खत्म कर देंगे, नष्ट कर देंगे। ये जो संविधान है, इसी ने हिंदुस्तान के गरीब लोगों को, पिछड़ों को, दलितों को, आदिवासियों को, माइनॉरिटीज को किसानों को, मजदूरों को जो भी दिया है इसने दिया है। और आज बीजेपी के बड़े बड़े नेता कहते हैं अगर वो चुनाव जीतेंगे तो इस किताब को वो फाड़ के फेंक देंगे। भाइयों और बहनों, मैं बीजेपी के हर कार्यकर्ता से कहना चाहता हूं, हर नेता से कहना चाहता हूं,
Union Home Minister Amit Shah on Wednesday referred to protests in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir and said, POK is part of India and we will take it. Addressing a rally in Serampore, Shah said while peace has returned to once trouble-torn Kashmir after abrogation of Article 370 in 2019, Pakistan-occupied Kashmir now echoes with slogans of Azadi and protests. Hitting out at Congress leaders for not supporting the demand of taking over POK, Shah said that Congress leaders like Mani Shankar Iyer say it should not be done as they have an atom bomb. But let me say this: Pakistan-occupied Kashmir is part of India and we will take it. Shah said the present Lok Sabha elections are about choosing between corrupt leaders of India Alliance and honest politician Narendra Modi, who despite being chief minister and then prime minister never had an allegation of single paisa against him. Bengal is the land which gave Vande Mataram and the national anthem Jana Gana Mana and played a key role in Bengal's freedom struggle. Both the communists and the TMC tried to end nationalism and patriotism in Bengal, he said.
अपने एजेंडा में कहा है हम ट्रिपल तलाक को वापस लाएंगे, 370 को वापस लाएंगे, पर्सनल लॉ वापस लाएंगे। अब उद्धव जी कांग्रेस पार्टी के घोषणा पत्र के साथ आप सहमत हो या नहीं हो, बताओ। आप जवाब दीजिएगा उद्धव जी, मौन मत हो जाइएगा। रत्नागिरी सिंधुदुर्ग नहीं, पूरे महाराष्ट्र की जनता आपसे।
The Supreme Court on Wednesday declared as invalid in the eyes of law the arrest of NewsClick founder Prabir Purkayastha in a case under the anti-terror law and directed that he be released from custody. The apex court observed that a copy of the remand application in the purported exercise of communication of grounds of arrest in writing was not provided to Purkayastha or his counsel before the passing of the remand order dated 4 October 2023, which vitiates his arrest and subsequent remand. As a result, the appellant is entitled to a direction for release from custody by applying the ratio of the judgment rendered by this court in the case of Pankaj Bansal, a bench of Justices B.R. Gavai and Sandeep Mehta said. The bench delivered its verdict on Purkayastha's plea challenging the High Court's 13th October last year order dismissing his plea against arrest and subsequent police remand in the case. He was arrested by the special cell of the Delhi police on 3rd October last year. Equity benchmark indices Sensex and Nifty ended lower on Wednesday after 3 days of rally, dragged down by selling pressure in HDFC Bank and unabated foreign fund outflows. Halting its 3-day rally, the 30-share BSE Sensex declined 117.58 points or 0.16% to settle at 72,987.03. During the day, it lost 281.95 points or 0.38% to 72,822.66. The NSE Nifty dipped 17.30 points or 0.08% to 22,200.55. From the Sensex pack, Tata Motors, Asian Paints, HDFC Bank, JSW Steel, Hindustan Unilever, Nestle and Titan were the major laggards. In contrast, Bharti Airtel, Power Grid, NTPC, Mahindra and Mahindra, Larsen and Toubro and HCL Technologies were among the major gainers. Global oil benchmark Brent crude climbed 0.21% to US $82.55 a barrel. Foreign institutional investors offloaded equities worth 4,065.52 crore rupees on Tuesday, according to exchange data. The BSE benchmark climbed 328.48 points or 0.45% to settle at 73,104.61 on Tuesday. The NSE Nifty went up 113.80 points or 0.51% to 22,217.85. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Wednesday said he was exposing the Congress and India alliance's plans to divide people on the basis of religion, and to him the country's unity was more important than his own image. Speaking at a campaign rally at Kalyan in Maharashtra's Thane district, he said it was his predecessor Manmohan Singh who had stated that the minorities have the first right over the country's resources. The Congress wanted to divide the country's budget into Muslim budget and Hindu budget by allocating 15% of funds for the Muslims, Modi alleged. The India alliance of the opposition will implement this policy of appeasement after coming to power, he claimed. The India alliance and the Congress prince, in an apparent reference to Rahul Gandhi, were doing politics over religion, and Karnataka was their laboratory, Modi said. Muslims in Karnataka were included in the OBC quota overnight, and Congress planned to implement this in the rest of the country, the Prime Minister alleged. Modi is exposing the India alliance's plans to divide people on the basis of religion. More than my image, the unity of the country is important to me, he added.
साथियों, 10 साल पहले आए दिन बम धमाके होते थे कि नहीं होते थे? जरा हाथ ऊपर करके बताइए, बम धमाके होते थे? आतंकवादी खुलेआम धमकियां जारी करते थे कि नहीं करते थे? सीमाओं पर गोलीबारी, राज्यों में नक्सली हमले, ये रोज की बात थी कि नहीं थी? लेकिन कांग्रेस की सरकार क्या करती थी? वो पाकिस्तान से गुहार लगाती थी और कांग्रेस अमन के कबूतर उड़ाकर फोटो निकलवाती थी जी। अमन के कबूतर उड़ाए जाते थे, मोमबत्तियां जलाई जाती थी, मोमबत्तियां। और क्या कहते? प्लीज प्लीज हम पर आतंकी हमला मत।
Here are today's news. Thank you for watching Swatantra TV English Bulletin. For a complete and comprehensive English news bulletin, please do watch Swatantra TV every day. This is Mahima, signing off. Keep watching Swatantra TV.